so good and tasty.
Good day, everybody. Well, in today's video, I kind of wanted to do a little follow-up. As many of you are probably aware by now, Brett Cooper left the Daily Wire. Well, now I got a little bit more juicy deets. And deets, for those of you that don't know, stands for details. And this is coming from Candace Owens. She's great. She does amazing job out here. So shout out to Candace, and sorry for stealing your stuff, but it just makes my life a little bit easier. Let's just jump right into the middle of it and get this going.
People were suggesting that actually Brett Cooper had gotten knifed by her best friend and maid of honor, which, by the way, fact-checked true. It was indeed her maid of honor that was announced to be taking over the comment section. A young woman named Reagan Conrad, and the internet was very upset about this, but there was no confirmation that came from Brett per se until after her announcement. Then the internet started interneting and recognizing some things. First and foremost, they recognized that Brett Cooper unfollowed Reagan. Okay, that is a major sign. Obviously, this woman was in her wedding in April. Now, all of a sudden, Brett Cooper has completely unfollowed her. That kind of signaled that a little more went on behind the scenes. On top of that, Brett Cooper also unfollowed the Daily Wire, and she unfollowed Jeremy Boring. So, yeah, like I said, some blood in the water. But then the ultimate confirmation came. The mother of all bombs. And when I say mother, I mean the mother of Brett Cooper. Some internet sleuths had noticed that Brett Cooper's mom, a woman named Diane Cooper, was liking some interesting posts. And I'm going to read you which post it was that she liked on Instagram. It was a comment that was being directed to Reagan. It reads, "No matter how many acting classes you take or watch Brett's old videos, you will never be Brett. It's sad that you took the money and snubbed your best friend. I hope the amount of money DW offered was worth your friendship with Brett. You lost a good one." So yeah, a little bit of drama went down. Moms don't hold back at all on the internet.
I guess for me, not knowing the true reason why Brett left is what makes it a little difficult for me to get on board with the whole backstabbing thing. Let's say like she wanted more money, but they didn't want to pay her. She says, "Well, if you don't, I'm leaving." They said, "Okay, bye." Well, I mean, that's a choice that you're making, and if you're not willing to accept with this company now, this is their choice on who they hire and who they pay, right? So if you're not willing to meet that, then, of course you part ways, in which case they say, "Well, hey, Reagan, do you want to then take over for less money or whatever Brett doesn't want to take?" Why would Brett stop her from doing that? I mean, hey, your friend has an opportunity to get her name out there, make money, have a job, right? Now, if it's for worse terms, like maybe they're doing something a little bit more dark and shady, snub Brett and then turn around and say, "Hey, Reagan, do you want to hop in on this?" Then I have a problem with that. I feel like you should stand with your friend and not take the job. If anything, you probably should leave too, because it's a weird work environment or something like that. But I don't know. It just kind of feels a little weird there in terms of she was given an opportunity. Why would Brett feel like she needs to unfriend and kind of shun her in that way? What did she do in that aspect to make you feel that way, other than it can't just be she took the job that you were let go from or fired from, whatever it may be? If that by itself is the only reason, I mean, you're gone either way. They're getting rid of you. So wouldn't you want someone who's been there with you kind of from the start and understands it to kind of take over instead of some random person? Wouldn't you be a little bit, I guess, happy that they have this opportunity? I just feel like there's got to be more for people to kind of be insinuating she stabbed her in the back. "You're fired. Reagan, do you want it? If not, we're going to someone else." Yeah, I'll take it. I mean, it's pretty good money. I'd take it. But I don't see that being such a big deal to begin. Sure, you can be mad and upset, but at some point, I mean, like unfriending them, I don't know if I'd necessarily do that. But then again, I'm not in that situation, so what do I know?
Don't try to have this young woman, Reagan, pretend to be Brett, because that would be very weird, obviously. You cannot train somebody to be somebody else and think that the public is not going to notice this.
Welcome back to the comment section. So obviously, I talk car brand into a whole new stratosphere of woke confusion. I'm concerned about feminism. I'm concerned about the growing gender divide. But before we get into today's episode, make sure you like this video. Before we dive into this episode, though, make sure that you like this video if you have not already. If you have not already.
The first look through this, I was like, okay, I I can kind of see it. But then through the second one, I realized they've got the same white headphones. The top is essentially the same while the design is a little bit different. And then they have the little turn thing. Like nothing there was like, is there anything that's going to be, you know, original or at least feel like it's actually Reagan?
The internet kept calling her a Temu Brett, essentially saying that this was like the Chinese knockoff version of Brett Cooper. It was an abject failure. I mean, let's just go through some of these numbers, okay? So this has been 10 days. In 10 days, the comment section has lost 200,000 subscribers, okay? So when Brett Cooper made her announcement, the channel had 4.51 million subscribers. Today, it just keeps going down every time this Reagan Girl posts. It's at 4.29 million subscribers. I'm just showing you guys this quick snapshot that I took of the channel. So this girl has produced 2 videos. This one, which is about the Duke lacrosse scandal, has been up for just under 2 days. Could not crack 100,000 views. She's got 71,000 views. The video behind it, even more abysmal, 42,000 views. So you imagine if it is true that she snaked her best friend and just took her 4.5 million subscribers, and she can't even get 100,000 of them to watch her video.
You know, honestly, I thought it would be a lot more. I thought she'd be like under 4 million. Now, this video was a little while ago, not too long, but I thought I'd go and take a look. And so on Candace's, she has 4.2. This is now showing 4.11. So it's definitely still in that downward trend. And in terms of viewership, guys, you got to think about this. Those videos are doing pretty terrible. She's getting not even 2.5% of viewership. So she has 4 million. 2.5% would put her around 100K. So look at the videos. I mean, she got one here, but the majority of them are still pretty low. And even the shorts are pretty low. 40 is like 1%-ish. That's pretty terrible. Now, that's still pretty early. Some of them were less than a week old, and the one that was 11 days old finally broke the 100K mark. But for having 4 million, that's pretty terrible if you look at other creators who have 4 million. They're on 2 completely different levels in terms of video viewership.
Brett Cooper has the it factor. Nobody really knows what the it factor is, but you know when you see it. Just didn't feel that way when you watch Reagan perform. It's like, okay, this isn't the it factor. This feels like the forced it factor. This feels like the friend of the it factor. I just don't see how this is going to be a successful plan. And lastly, what I will say is the lesson in all of this is actually something that I learned from Matt Walsh. He always says, just because you can doesn't mean you should. That is the lesson in all of this. The comment section, I would say, is officially over.
I think they just did it for money and because they can. Contrary to what Matt Walsh says. You have over 4 million subscribers. That's a lot of money to just close up shop. Even if you were to put someone else in there, people subscribed for Brett and her take on these news reports. Either way, you're going to lose viewership. I think they're just trying to milk whatever they can until it eventually starts to fall flat. I think it might get under 2 million at some point. But then I still think over time, people who aren't aware of the comment section or end up falling back into it will see Reagan. They may end up liking Reagan. I'm sure there's people who like Reagan or are fine with it and don't really care. You'll still have them who will probably just watch just for the news and that style of getting news and updates on things. So I don't think it's necessarily gonna go all the way down to 0, but it's definitely gonna take a while before it gets any kind of traction that it had with Brett. If you enjoy the content, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button for your favorite churro on YouTube. See you guys on the next one.